Edmund Spenser wrote a long poem called The Faerie Queene over about 10 years. He published it in two parts. The first three books came out in 1590 and then he published three more books in 1596. In total, he wrote 6 books, but his original plan was ambitious. He wanted to write 12 books in total, with each book focusing on a different Christian virtue through its all the characters that he has discussed in these 6 books. Okay, but what happened is that he abandoned this project because when Spenser showed the first three books to the Queen Elizabeth, he was hoping to get some serious recognition, sort of good political position or some money from Queen Elizabeth. But he ended up in disappointment because the payment he received from Queen Elizabeth was a little bit of a very small amount he got the payment. Okay, so he blamed that Lord Burghley, who was an advisor of Elizabeth, made her to pay back less recognition for his work Faerie Queene, because Lord Burghley and Spenser both had different political views, and that's why he didn't favor Spenser. So you can see a change in Spenser's writing style. The first three books is amazingly written, but then the writing style started declining towards the remaining 6 books, and he gave up his plan to write 12 books because he was not getting recognition for his work. But before beginning this video, you can join our ongoing batch on all these competitive exams in English literature. Here are some reviews from the students that will help you make the decision.
I have qualified GRF this time because of Nakul Grover sir only. Without his notes, it was impossible for me to crack such a big exam.
Without you, it was impossible for me to crack the NET exam.
I have qualified my UGC NET in my first attempt.
He also acts like a guardian as well as a mentor. In every difficult path, he's always available whenever we need him.
My immense thanks to Nakul Grover sir and Limitless Literature.
It is very helpful and easy to understand. He supported me a lot.
I would definitely recommend Limitless Literature to all the NET aspirants out there.
Limitless literature with limitless guidance.
If you want to crack UGC NET with JRF in English literature, I highly recommend you to join with Limitless Literature.
And now, without any further ado, let's continue with this discussion. So again, all these books are important. Let's try to write down some facts about this particular work. It is written in Spenserian stanza created by Spenser specifically for this work. Each book represents a different virtue. Book 1, Holiness, which has the character Red Cross Knight. Book 2, Temperance, Sir Gawain is the character over there. Book 3, Chastity, where we have the character Britomart. Book 4, Friendship, where we have the friendship of Campbell and Delamont. Book 5, Justice, where we have Article. Book 6, Courtesy, where we have Calidor. Also remember that the work is dedicated to Queen Elizabeth I, and it's a political allegory. Okay, allegory means when a story has some hidden message, hidden meaning beneath its surface. In political allegory, characters in the story represent real political figures or situations. For example, you can say in this work we have the character Gloriana. Okay, Gloriana is the character which represents Queen Elizabeth. Britomart is also a character which represents Queen Elizabeth. Faerie Queene is also represents Queen Elizabeth. And then we have other characters like Mary Queen of Scots. We have already discussed in British literature playlist who was Mary Queen of Scots. Mary Queen of Scots was rival of Queen Elizabeth I. So the character Duessa, a deceiving enchantress, represents Mary Queen of Scots. So Spenser used this allegory for several purposes. He wants to praise Queen Elizabeth, and again he was a Protestant, and he is encouraging Protestant, and he criticized the political behavior of other people who are against the Queen Elizabeth. That's political allegory. So this is why it's an epic poetry, you can say. It is written in Spenserian stanza, as we have discussed. Of course, that's a stanza created by Spenser to write this particular book, and it became very famous. So one by one we are going to discuss all the 6 books, so that any questions that comes from this particular work, you will be easily able to solve this particular question. Alright, so let's start with the first book. Let's look at book 1, which is about the Red Cross Knight. What happens is that this knight represents Holiness, and he has to help a lady named Una. Una is a character who comes to Faerie Queene's court because a terrible dragon is terrorizing her parents' kingdom. Now what happens is that the Red Cross Knights agrees to help Una. Yes, Una, I'm going to help you. I'm going to save your parents. So they both started towards the kingdom of Una's parents so that they can save Una. Okay. So now in the journey, while they are moving towards through a forest, moving towards the parents' kingdom, they met a character named Duessa. Duessa appears on the road looking very beautiful and dressed in red and gold clothes. She pretended to be a noble lady, but what happens next is that she tells Red Knight a fake story that I have also lost a kingdom, I need your help. So she's actually lying. Duessa tricks the Red Cross Knight, and what happens next is that Red Cross Knight leave Una because of Duessa's trick and go along with Duessa. So Duessa takes the Red Cross Knights to the House of Pride. So in the House of Pride, he is now captured by a giant named Orgoglio. Now Red Cross Knight is now captured, whereas Una is alone in the forest. And while she was in the forest, she encountered a lion over there. So she is saved by King Arthur. King Arthur comes, or you can say Prince Arthur comes. He saves Una, and then they both goes towards this Red Cross Knight and saves the Red Cross Knight. So Red Cross Knight is also saved by Prince Arthur, and he feels sorry for being so proud and leaving Una. Okay, and Red Cross Knight does a ceremony to become holy again and return back to save the parents Una from the dragon. The book first is about holiness. So Red Cross Knight has become again holy while he was here in the kingdom of Duessa in the House of Pride. He got a lot of pride. He got into some sexual things with other women over there in House of Pride. So he had to perform some ceremonies to become holy again, and then both Una as well as the Red Cross Knight started their journey back to the kingdom where Red Cross Knight saves Una's parents. So now here we have the book 2 of the Faerie Queene. Here we have the character Sir Gawain. Okay, now what happens in the beginning is that there is this evil magician called Archimago, and this Archimago meets Sir Gawain and his guide Palmer. Palmer is a sort of a helper. He helps Gawain on the right path. He represents wisdom and self-control. Now Archimago tries to trick Gawain by telling him that Red Cross Knight has been attacked by a woman. But what happens next is very interesting. When Gawain meets Red Cross Knight, instead of fighting with the Red Cross Knight, Gawain waited and listened to Red Cross Knight, and here he became the friend. So they both, Sir Gawain and Red Cross Knight, became a friend. So here we have a message that we have to think through temperance, through patience before getting into fight with anyone else. So that's the moral message of this book to Temperance, which is a reflection of Sir Gawain, who thinks before, who talks to Red Cross Knight before getting into the fight. And now they both became friends, and Sir Gawain and Palmer started their own journey. And suddenly they see another character named Amavia who stabs herself in the chest. Sir Gawain runs to help her and sees she is holding a newborn baby, and next to her is the dead body of her husband named Mordant. Before dying, she tells that there was a witch named Acacia who took her husband to the bower of bliss and tricked her, saying that she will give him love and pleasure. But then she does something terrible. She turns her husband into a beast. The Mordant is now a beast, but he is very courageous. He breaks free himself from Acacia's magic, and now Acacia is very angry. She poisons him and kills him. And after telling this story of her husband, Amavia also died. So here we have the chronology. Let's start with again the chronology. The first we have Sir Gawain, who is with Palmer, and they both are traveling in a forest or somewhere. They met Red Cross Knight and they both became friends. And now Sir Gawain meet another lady, Amavia, who stabs herself to death. And before she stabs herself to death, she told her the story about the husband Mordant, that how Mordant has been captured or killed by the bowler, the Acacia, who is somewhere in the bower of bliss. So this is the whole chronology, and now Amaviya is died. So he takes the baby in his hand, and no matter how much Gawain tries to wash the baby's hands, the blood just won't come off. This is very important for competitive exams because it has deeper meaning. It shows how children suffer because of what their parents do wrong in the society. The baby is innocent. Baby has done nothing, but he has to carry this mark of his parents' sin throughout his life. This whole incident is what makes Gawain decide to find and destroys Acacia's bow of bliss. He realizes how much harm she is causing to the families. Just look what had happened right now. A husband had been died by poison, a wife died by suicide, a poor baby is left alone with blood on its hand and it is not washing away. So this is why Gwen starts a quest to stop Acacia before she destroys more families like this. So Gawain made a point to destroy the Bower of Bliss, and he fights with a lot of things when he reached this Bower of Bliss, and somehow he destroys the Bower of Bliss also in the end through his ability of Temperance. So that's the book second. Now here we have three knights, Gawain, Arthur and Arthur's squires Timaeus. These three are traveling together and they came across a mysterious knight. So this mysterious knight and Gawain have a battle. And this mysterious knight wins the battle from Gawain. It is very interesting. You see, this mysterious knight is actually a woman named Britomart, which represents chastity. Chastity means purity. Purity means staying away from all sexual pleasures. But it's not like she is not going to love someone. It's about like she is a symbol of purity. She is searching for true love. So that's the symbol of purity, chastity. Alright, here let's understand from where this mysterious woman, Britomart, came. Now actually Britomart, when she was in her kingdom or when she was in her home, she had a mirror, a magical mirror where she could look in and figure out the future. So Britomart looked into the magical mirror and she found that she is very happy with the knight. Inside the mirror there is a knight and they both are happy. And she fall in love with that person. And that person name is Article. So now she is on a quest to find her true love, to find Article. Okay, so that's the Britomart who is roaming here and there, and she is mysterious. She is in a man's dress because it's unsafe for a woman to go alone in some forest or somewhere. So she is dressed in a man's clothes. She is mysterious, and then she is now appeared to be a woman when she fought with Gawain. She broke the Gawain, she battled with the Gawain, she won over Gaon. Book 3 is all about different kinds of love. You have Britomart, who represents true, pure love, and there is another character like Melkasta, who wants to sleep with every knight who comes to her castle. This book's main message is to teach us that the true love is patient, is pure. Just like Britomart, she is waiting patiently, she is finding Article. So that's why Britomart is the hero of this book, and she shows us what real love should be like. Book 4 of the Faerie Queene talks about friendship, where we have two pairs of friends that shows us what true friendship means. First we have Campbell and Triomant. These two knights were enemies at first, but then Campbell falls in love with Tremont's sister. Now these enemies became double friends through marriage. What makes their friendship special is that there was a tournament and Tremont was hurt. So Campbell wears his armor, his helmet, and fights for him. And then when Campbell is troubled, Tremont fought for him. So this shows us that true friends will do anything to help each other, even in the difficult times. But the most important part comes when Britomart finally meets Article. So we have already discussed Britomart looked into some magical mirror and she was on the quest of Article. So what happens is that Britomart and Article actually fight each other because Article doesn't know she's a woman. But during the fight, Article breaks her helmet and sees her face, and he falls in love with her right away. But Britomar pretends she is not interested, even though she's been looking for him. It's her quest to find the article, but she pretends that she doesn't care. She's not in love. Who is she? Or who is he? So from here, they both became friends and they fall in love with each other. So that's what this book all about. We have the book 5 of Faerie Queene, which is about justice. Here we have the article. Article is given a quest by Faerie Queene to rescue a lady named Irina from an evil person named Grantoroto. Article is not alone. Article has his helper named Talus, which is made up of iron. Talus represents strict justice that shows no mercy, while Article gives judgment who is right, who is wrong, and Talus do the justice. The most interesting part is Article gets captured by Redegund. Redegund is the powerful woman, and she used to defeat many knights and makes them wear women's dresses. So this is very evil, monstrous type of woman who forced the knights to do the women's work. So now she captured Article also, but then Britomart came to save Article from Redegund. So she fights with Redegund and she kills her, and this shows us that sometimes justice needs to be very strict. And after Article is being saved, he fights Grantoroto and saves Irina. The symbolism here is Article, who reflects wisdom, Talus, who reflects justice, but Britomart reflects both wisdom and justice. Let's start with this book 6, which is all about courtesy. Here we have a knight named Calidor. Okay, so now what happens is that Calidor is given a quest to defeat Blatant Beast. The symbolic meaning of Blatant Beast means scandal and gossip. You see, scandal and gossip. We do gossiping of everyone. That's an evil thing. That's a monstrous thing. So that's a political allegory that gossiping is going around everywhere. Everyone just loves gossiping about someone. So this Calidor wants to kill the Blatant Beast. He, in symbolistic way, it means that we should kill the gossiping. We should not get involved into scandals and gossiping sort of things, because it ruins the reputation of the person whom we are doing the gossiping about. So here we have Calidor, who wants to kill Blatant Beast. He is looking for Blatant Beast. He meets many different people who do not have kindness, who do not have courtesy for other human beings, who do gossiping all around others, who speak about bad things. So that represents the Blatant Beast. And Calidor is looking for the solution to stop all this thing. And in this book, Calidor meets a beautiful shepherd also. Her name is Pastorella. She seems like a shepherd girl, but later we find out she is actually from a noble family. Let's get back to Blatant Beast, who is causing trouble to people around him. He bites the people and poisons them. He makes people suffer the bad reputation. That's what we get after gossiping. He is able to stop this. But then this Blatant Beast escapes. So that is also a symbol. No matter how much we try to stop people gossiping, how much we try people to stop talking about others, to stop talking about bad about others, this Blatant Beast will run away. Even though Calidor captured Blatant Beast, he was not able to kill him and he ran away. No matter whatever we do, we cannot stop people doing gossiping. And the only way to stop is through courteousness, is through politeness. So that's a message through Calidor, which represents courtesy. Here we have some points to note down. The role of women. Una represents truth. Britomart shows women can be strong. Florimel, another minor character which represents beauty. Duessa shows how evil can look beautiful. Then we have Protestant religion over here. The Faerie Queene supports the Protestant ideas, whereas we have many evil characters which represents the Catholic Church. That's what we have to study in Faerie Queene. Remember all the characters that we have discussed. They can simply ask you, Britomart appeared in which book is represents which virtue, book 4 represents what, who are the two friends. They can ask direct questions from Faerie Queene. Alright, so these are the things that you have to remember for your competitive exams. You can also make some notes from here and there, but then that's the maximum thing that we have covered up a major portion. Otherwise, if there is something else, I will again let you know in the PDF form. I will attach the PDF over here. All right. So I will see you soon in the next video. That's it. Thank you.